Wake up, Tenno. It is time, Tenno. Incoming audio transmission. Transmission received.
Hello there, Tenno, and welcome to Digest number 9. Today we'll be covering Livestream 27 and all its affiliated topics and interesting high notes. This is going to be a very interesting one overall because it's been a while. Last week it was Easter weekend and they didn't do anything because of, Easter and all of its following things. So we're getting it today. And it's pretty good. It's really interesting. Can't wait to tell you guys all about it. So, enough of that, and let's get started with some PS4 update news. I know there's a couple of PS4 users that watch my digest because they want to keep up with the PC equivalent of Warframe, considering we're up ahead in front of them, and they want to know what's coming. So, a few quick things for the PS4 users are as follows. PS4 users will be getting a unique color palette to make up for the lack of unique color palettes that have been in the PC market. The reason for this is the lack of updates, so they'll be getting a specific PS4 unique color pack to pretty much make up for those lack of customization and color variations. Along with that, it seems that PS4 users will also be getting remote play accessibility via the Vita. Yeah, Warframe on your Vita. Warframe is now a handheld apparently. It's going to be very interesting to see how that works for you PS4 users out there. I don't have it, but it'd be interesting to see how that would work playing Warframe on a small handheld device when people are occupying the TV. Along with that will be full customizable and rebindable controls for the PS Vita, so you won't have to get stuck with some clunky and awkward controls. So pretty much that's about it for the PS4 users, or at least those are the most noticeable things to say. And the team actually suggested that PS4 users give a lot of feedback on the forums. There's a specific PS4 team reading that, so there's a guarantee that most of your feedback will be read and answered for, and it will really help pretty much support that console. So, back onto PC. PC players! Rejoice or cry? I don't know, there's a bunch of mixed feelings about this, because a lot of people really don't like it. And by don't like it, I mean the dark sectors. We're getting a lot more fixes coming to the dark sectors as the days progress, because the dark sectors is the most recent and newest of the features, and it has a lot of growing up to do compared to everything else. Some of these things are ongoing development to make the dark sectors the end game for us veterans and intermediate players that really don't have much else to do except collect items, to make it more interesting, to make it more involving, and just make it enjoyable overall. We want to make this game more enjoyable. The dev team really wants to make this enjoyable for us, the users. So, the first thing that they're working on is the Spectres. But the Spectres dropped loot already. That's good. That's really good. Too good for some people, but still good overall. The Spectres will be customizable. Clans and alliances can actually customize the Spectres in patches to come. These customizations will actually allow these clans and alliances to actually build their own army, build their own specific Spectre style, and these Spectres will actually reflect based on the base technician, the people that actually have most knowledge with Warframes and how to build them. So basically, you want to make sure that your High Command or your Grand Council, I don't know how you clans are doing it, Test Clan is just like all over the place with the Test Alliance, but make sure you have warlords and technicians that know what they're doing, because we will be getting blueprints off of those. They will be giving you their blueprints, or you can just specify someone to actually make all the blueprints. So it's going to be interesting to see how Spectres can be customized and actually ramp up the difficulty for the game overall. On that note, making things more difficult, the Solar Rails will also be getting alternative styles. These alternative styles will actually be changing the missions overall. An example of this will be PvE, as it is currently pretty much us against the defenses, and also a consideration of PvP. They're actually thinking about letting Tenno go versus Tenno, player versus player, and just go on a full-out war in the Solar Rails. This can actually make conflicts for the Rails even quicker or even more drawn out. So it will be an interesting mechanic to see if they really do implement it. Considering how the conclaves are right now, it's not gonna look so good. Alongside of that, they also considered dojo integration. Find a way to actually let us integrate our dojos into the solar rails or something of that nature. People have always been very ambitious about letting people come into our dojos and invade or defend and have some sort of metagame in that. So it's nice to see that as well. They also considered the whole entire Spectre army thing, pretty much advanced Spectres, which will be a rail with even harder defenses and just much more mileage overall. On the note of making Spectres, we're going to be making them. So clearly, that means we're going to need materials. Where are these materials going to come from? From a new rework to the rescue system, the rescue missions. The rescue missions will be getting a complete massive overhaul that will actually change how the mechanics are from the beginning to the end. Pretty much, there will be a new warden system. Wardens will be an NPC boss type or an enemy type, pretty much like the leaders, that will be actually guarding the jail cells and pretty much just walking around the whole entire tile, just making sure that the Tenno aren't there and the prisoner isn't escaping. This pretty much lays the road ahead for new mechanics for the whole entire rescue system. We have seen mechanics like this leak in updates before. For example, the mechanic that lets us give our secondaries to our rescue target, pretty much allowing them to shoot back and take cover and actually help us instead of just tag along like mindless drones. With these new mechanics and new enemy types means scaling rewards based on the difficulty of the mission. Pretty much rescue missions in Venus will give certain rewards of lower tier compared to those that give out in Pluto and Ceres being higher tiers, harder rescue missions. And by that, I mean that literally this is going to get harder for the simple fact that they'll be pushing a new stealth mechanic into the rescue missions in the form of just you get spotted, the alarm goes off, and the prisoner's dead. Yeah, this will actually push out the stealth portion of the game for people that are just very gun-ho and just sprint across the map real quick with Loki, Rhino Prime, or Volt. So this will actually slow down the pace and actually give people different variety of game types. The reward will scale from different items to different parts to make the overall Spectre that will be part of the Clan Tech research for the overall Solar Rail contest, or conflict. Alongside that, another thing is also getting a new redesign, and that is the new player experience. It's gonna get a whole new redesign again. Yes, this is the second, third, fourth time, I don't know, they lost track, we lost track, but it's getting a whole new redesign to actually let players new to Warframe get immersed into our world, our universe, and how the game works. They'll be bettering the opening sequence, they'll be bettering the tutorials, and they'll also better the whole entire sense of the battle flow. Pretty much making it easier for new players to get more immersed and more involved into the game as it evolves. Along with that will be the solo players, the solo runners, or the lone wolf style of gameplay. We'll be getting a whole entire new look as well, because a lot of new players come in alone, so it's going to make it easier for them, it's going to make it more interesting for them, and for a lot of us who are pretty much endgame and we're just picking up pugs or we're just playing it private, making it interesting for us as well. Another thing that's also going to get very interesting is the login sequence. It's not going to happen now. Yeah, I'm sorry, a little bit misleading words, but it's going to be very interesting. They said this is going to come out in another big update. No exact dates were given, but the new login sequence will actually start occurring rather soon, TM. We'll start actually phasing out the whole entire star chart, and we're replacing it with the whole entire Vesper relay from before. Pretty much a whole entire relay system where basically it'll make into a community world, a community hub, where you'll just go fly by and just see a bunch of players in the same zone, just walking around, flipping and breaking the map like always. But you won't be seeing just 4 players overall, you won't see a cell, you'll see hundreds of players in the shared space. This is reiterating back to another livestream that they had speaking of this. What they did show was the new login, or the new concept for the new login sequence. Since the star map is going to be gone, where are we going to log in? We're going to be logging into the 10-hour ships. Yes, remember that from like a few streams ago? I think it was Digest 8 or Digest 7? They showed new concept art of pretty much how it's going to look on the exterior, as well as concept art from the interior with a new look and redesign for the whole entire cockpit. This is going to be very interesting because it will use void technology, pretty much a term they're using to just say it's going to be bigger inside and outside for you Netflix users and everyone on the internet, like a TARDIS. And it's going to be very interesting to see how that expands and how that grows onto new players and onto us. Speaking of growing and expanding, it's going to be customizable in the aspect that you can get ship upgrades to do various things. We don't know exactly what these various things are, but an example they gave us was pretty much something to do with interstellar travel costs. So, who knows what's that exactly, but it's something. Something else that's also getting a remake is the new end screen. By that I mean is the mission reward screen. The mission reward screen will be getting a complete redesign because it is actually the oldest portion of the UI that is not updated with everything else. It is actually the most simplest, it is actually the most bland, and it's actually the most unenjoyable part of finishing a mission, because you really can't see all your goodies and all your spoils. So basically it's gonna get a complete redesign that you can see it in-game, and then once you're in the start chart and you can actually see everything in detail to see every item you've got, every resource you got, and every mod you got. So, can't wait to see that happen, because I really hate wondering, what did I just get from that void run? Huh. Speaking of running, that's animations. Yes, I know, poor segue. But, nonetheless, it's a segue nonetheless. I'm repeating myself. Anyway, we're gonna get new melee updates. New melee animations for Melee 2.0. Some of the stances that came out in Melee 2.0 were a little lackluster. They didn't have as many combos as some other stances, and it was very sad to see that some of them had basic combos that had a finisher, and some had these fancy extensions, and you can combo them up and just make some brutal little combos. So, here are some stances that are gonna get some changes. Don't know exactly what stances they are, but for most of you that have them, you can figure it out which one's missing a combo. Some of the stances that will get these extensions, these new animations, and this new combo will be the scythes, the staffs, the glaive, and the katana. But the katana has 2 combos already. Well, they're giving us a second stance. So people farming Tranquil Cleave, you can stop. You can start focusing on the new one. Because Tranquil Cleave is very focused and narrow and single target orientated, and the new one is going to be broad, two-handed katana swings that will just obliterate everything around you, and it looks beautiful, and you can see it right now, and oh my god, I want it now. Please, someone get it for me. I am not paying 250 plat for it, though. And the most interesting part of this is that it's coming out today, or unless you're watching this the day after, it came out yesterday. Or unless you're watching this, like, I don't know, a week from now. It came out when this video came out, unless I screwed up and it came late. But yeah, it's coming out the same day as the dev livestream, which is very interesting because this is the first time they've done a dev livestream and actually released a very interesting patch, a very interesting update, content patch. So, can't wait to get my hands on that katana mod, because I love my Nakana. I really do. Oh god, the Dragon Nakana is just so clean, so katana-y. Words. I don't know. Speaking of new, and fancy, and pretty, and fluffy. Okay, that word kind of gave it away. The Kubarao, or Kubaro. The dog, the llama, the bat, the pet. The thing in the Orokin lab just floating in a test tube. Yeah, that thing. They showed it. They showed some new animations, they showed how it will be playing in the environment, and they gave us a little bit of its details. Pretty much, here are some new animations for the Kubarao, and it looks fierce. It looks vicious, and it looks pretty fluffy. They said that these will actually start spawning as a pack, pretty much in their native environment, like the skates do in Phobos. You see multiple skates, you don't normally see as one skate, you see like 3 or 5. And this pack of Kubarao will actually have a pack mentality, much like the hyena. So actually make it a very interesting enemy to fight. And another thing they also showed us was the animations for our Kubarao, the white fluffy llama of Doom. Well, you really can't say Doom when it's barking like that and just sitting that adorably, but it's pretty much going along. The Kubarao are confirmed to be 90% complete, and I want it. I really want it. I'm sorry, but it's fluffy. Fluffy. But anywho, they said it's 90% complete, and it'll be coming out in the next major update. Meaning, update 14. And considering right now we're at 13.1, that's not around the corner. Oh, no. Since we're talking about the Tenno companions, we might as well speak of the Tenno. Some Tenno changes are down the road, and a lot of people were flaming almost immediately in the stream. I'm not surprised, considering this has been a very hot topic in region and in the forums, and it's been very one-sided by a portion of the community. First, let's start on a high note. Valkyrie. Valkyrie is going to get an ultimate buff. Her ultimate is going to be changed to fit in with Melee 2.0, considering that was a big concern of the community when Melee 2 was brought up, considering her ultimate is just all melee. Her ultimate will actually start getting new attack patterns, combo, chainings, and unique moves to increase the functionality of the ultimate. Now, here come the hot topics. Buff and nerfing. Big buff and nerfings. Hydroid is going to get a look at just to see how they can change his casting times, because currently almost all his abilities are just cast and wait. So we'll start seeing some of them, most likely Tempest Barrage, become multi-casting, and that'll actually increase his versatility and his viability in multiple situations. And here come the buzz topics. Trinity. Oh yeah, Trinity's nerf is going to be to Blessing. There's not going to be a mad nerf to the ground, but it's going to get tweaked, because a lot of players are complaining about Blessing just kind of ruining the challenge in the game, because it's immunity, it's God mode, and you just really have no fear or consequences in that state, so that's going to get a heavy look at to be more fair and keep some challenge in the game. And the flame started here, Nova. She is still an issue. She is going to get looked at, and she's going to get looked at a lot. No idea exactly how, but everyone got defensive. I say she needs it, because I'm tired of seeing Molecular Prime every 2 inches. It's getting really annoying. What's also getting annoying is seeing Banshee and Ashe not getting much love. Well, that's changing soon. Banshee and Ashe are going to get some buffs to throw them in line with the new changes in the game, and with some new changes from the newer Warframes to throw them back onto par with the other Warframes. And since we're looking at the Warframes, we gotta start looking at their weapons too, because a lot of weapons have fallen off the chart. So we're gonna start with the snipers. Scott confirmed that we'll be taking a look at some of the weapons, and we'll be starting with the sniper rifles, because they need some love too. So that pretty much does it for this Warframe Digest, but then again, it can't be over just yet unless I give you some concept art. Here's some concept art of some new upcoming tiles that they're considering in updates to come. They showed us concept art for the Ice Planet that'll be a new expansion to the Corpus tile set. Not to the existing outpost, but a whole new tile set corresponding to a Corpus ship graveyard. This is where a lot of Corpus ships will have crash landed, and there'll be wreckages amongst the snow, pretty much like something out of Star Wars. So it's going to be very interesting to go around these snow-filled planets, just like on Phobos, filled with desert, but instead of seeing ruins of ancient civilizations and buildings, you'll be seeing ruins of lost starships. They showed us images from the inside and out, and it looks pretty interesting, pretty gloomy, and overall grim, but more to see in the future and in days to come. Alongside that, they also showed us a couple of images for the Grenier Shipyard tile, and it'll be getting its own little expansion and add-ons in updates to come as well. So, nice to see expansions on all sides, and that pretty much does it for this Warframe Digest. So, thanks for joining me for Digest 9, and I'll see you guys in-game. So take it easy, have fun, and go get that potato before it's gone. So, peace out, and have fun.
Hot potato, hot potato. Somebody take it away. Take the hammer. Take the hammer. No, get back. Take the hammer, hot potato.